Welcome to another How to Use and Getting Familiar with Stable Secretary. In this video, we will be online exploring health providers, which would also be service providers. Those could be veterinarians, chiropractors, farriers, anyone that may come out to your farm. They don't necessarily need to be a team member, but maybe they do need some access. Originally created with the thought for it being like vets and health professionals who may need to just add the records themselves in there just for convenience. So as you see, we're landing here on this, health provider homepage dashboard. And you can see there's multiple accounts they're able to get into. That's kind of the advantage of using providers. And for vets, maybe you, your neighbor, and some person 2 counties over all use the same vet and you all use Stable Secretary. That veterinarian's login, can be linked to multiple accounts pretty easily. They don't need to have, multiple different logins to keep track of. So how do we add the health providers? You're going to add them in the same way as team members, just using the health providers tab, put their email address in, and they're going to get this email if they have never ever been registered with Stable Secretary before. Click here to accept your invitation, which says click the link below to create your Stable Secretary provider account. That's if they're not registered. It is going to take them to essentially the same sign-up form as anyone else, registering for the very first time to create their own account. It will just automatically have the email filled in, so they just put their name and create a password. Boom, they're in, and they land on the dashboard to choose where they go. If they are already registered in Stable Secretary, like I said, if it's you, your neighbor, and someone 2 counties over, one of them already has them registered, they're going to get this that says, someone has granted you access to their account, and you just have to log in and then, pick that farm off of the list on the provider dashboard. That will, then your list will get longer the more people who send you the invites to be able to get in there. So once you're in, what are some things that you can do? You are able to do this. So this is the provider dashboard, and providers, they get their own Stable kind of profile / account in case they wanted to start their own subscription for some reason. And then any other accounts that they belong to, it'll be in here and it'll say like the farm name and then who runs the account. So you can see all my testing stables in here. So you're logged in and you need to update something. I'm the veterinarian. I need to go put in that we put shots in. So you're going to go to the correct farm that you want to go to. And then it lands on just the same account page, homepage, as any other team member or person logging in, but with a limited view. So you have the reminders page, and you can only see at this point reminders that you, the health provider, add. You can't see any of the other stuff like from the main barn. Horses, you just see the list of horses and their information. There are no action buttons down here to edit or delete or do any of that. You can click into the horses and, see their information and check what they're eating and stuff like that. You can go to the records page and you can filter them down and you can see everything. Or maybe, like for videos, I keep a tag just for making these videos. Maybe the barn has a tag just for you as, the group of horses you work on. So you can, filter it down to there, change the time period. You can have it be, I only want to see farriers or dewormings or, vaccinations. Maybe you're the stallion vet and you just want to see collection records, whatever you want on here. You also are able to see and run a couple reports, mainly the health reports and breeding reports. They are able to see all the kinds of reports though, and we will get to just an overview of a couple of them they can run. So really, once you're logged in as the service provider, what is it? I said for the purposes of this video, I'm a veterinarian and we came out and did some shots. How do I add that in here? Big add button, and there's only a couple things you can add. So we're going to go to health record, wait for it to load. And I was out doing some vaccinations. So you can pick horses individually one by one, or you can go by tag. I'm going to use tag just because I'm making a video. So you can see just the horses that are in that tagged group show up. So if you're watching this as someone who has, you are the main account holder, you're the barn manager, whoever, or maybe you're a health provider, this is our general records create form, and it works the same way as it does for everyone else. You're going to want to pick a date. Let's say you were out there on Thursday. You pick vaccinations. This is a customizable list, so health providers, if you're vaccinating something and you don't see it on here, maybe you do a multi-combo something that's not on here, or you'll see I have intramuscular or intranasal. Maybe you're given something on here that they don't already have. You'd have to get in touch with the barn and have someone add that in there. You can put an admin by, and you'll notice all the names are on here of people who might be doing it, not just only your name as a health provider. So you could pick anything in case your vet tech's on there or whatever you want to do. You can leave it blank. Any comments you need to add on here, and then the next due date. So you'll see next to here it says 26 weeks, and it auto-fills a date. For that is a setting, but right now vaccination is one single repeat interval setting. So even if I have 30 different kinds of vaccinations to choose from, I only have one default interval range for next due date for all of them. So if it's something where, it's a shot and they only get it once a month, once a year, you may want to adjust this to push it out for the year. Maybe it's something they do get once a month and you need to, push it in, change it to a month. Whatever you need to do, this is totally changeable. You can apply to all, you can just change them all individually, whatever you need to do. When you hit save records, lands on this green box, confirmation that they have been created. If you are a provider, or you're somewhere where the facility, they want some sort of picture, copy of a form, something attached onto the records. Maybe you need to keep a picture of the vial, so you got a date code and a batch code on there. This green box going to be your first port of call for adding those attachments. You would hit add attachment. This pops up as a little window. I have enlarged it. This is the edit page. So you can, add your comments in, change all your stuff. But this is where you can choose an attachment. Just going to hit choose file. I'm just going to pick a random photo. And so once you add it and you make sure that that's what you want, just going to hit save. So the window will close itself. Closes. You just land back here. And you can click the next ones. Or, and this is kind of something important to keep in mind, because providers have a limited ability in here, they can add things, they can view things. Editing, not so much. Things they add. So like we added some on just these horses. If you go up to horses, I'm going to search for just one of them. You see no action buttons here. They can't do anything, but you click on the horse's profile, still no action buttons. You come down here. They only have the ability to edit the records that they've added. And fair enough, I have 3 on here because I've had to take a couple tries at the video. I want to get it right. So you can see, if you hit the edit button, you can always delete it. If you hit edit, it's going to open up this same edit vaccination form. So maybe you got the date wrong. Maybe you got you need to add some comments, whatever. You can do the same thing, hit choose file, pick whatever photo you need on there. And again, I'm going to do a video for the mobile app, and mobile app adding the attachment or the photo, whatever, is a little more visible and easier because it is part of the record creation form. So it's a little more streamlined. So the other place you can come is here to reports. There are a couple of reports that providers can run. Of course, breeding reports down here. You can click pregnancies. You can see if there's any pregnant horses. You can, check ovulation records. With breeding reports, they will only show breedable horses, so anything listed as a mare, anything listed as a stallion. You can select individually or just hit select all. There's no tags option here. And then from a start date, I mean, I'm just going to go crazy and say from like over a year ago. When you run it, it will just show all of the ovulation records just in a list with a date. And you can always hit the print button to print it out or change the destination and save it as a PDF. So that's, I mean, the breeding records all kind of run the same. Health records, probably specifically as a provider, you would be looking at, these health reports that you can contribute to or, whatever. So due dates, maybe you're like, well, I forget if Blaze or Spotty or whoever, do they need the shots? So again, I'm just going to pick by tag. Records type, you could pick a certain kind. I'm just going to hit all. That way, we get a huge amount. Because it's due dates, it'll push it out a little bit. I'm going to go super far out just for the purposes of this video. If you select a vet or a farrier, that means the horse's profile, like where you can put things like where their stall is, how old they are, allergies, all that, which the barn themselves has to do. Providers can't do that. The vet on here needs to be saved on that profile. Otherwise, you'll get like 0 results. I tend to leave it blank, but if that's how the account is set up, then you can run it that way. So I did tag for video, so there's just 5 horses in there. So you can see, oh, well, Horsey Horse missed a farrier, or this one, Horsey Horse coming up for deworming soon. You can see other kinds of renewals that may not relate to you as a provider. It's just something that pops in here. You can see, oh, yep, Horsey Horse had an ultrasound and he was due for his recheck a couple weeks ago, whatever. So if the date is red on the due date, it means they're past due. You can see, oh, nope, Rangeroo, yep, we did her vaccinations. She's fine until July. That's because she's one in the tag that we added those records to. You can also see the admin by, and then, of course, the date of the last time that they got that record created. Of course, you can still print it or save it as PDF. So just when you go in reports, that's how they're going to run. If you are a health provider or a provider that's registered at several barns, okay, so you've done this one. How do you switch? Come up here and click your login, and you go to provider dashboard. And then you can, pick another barn. You can land on the same page. It'll have the name up here, but you can always go to the horses list and make sure that a new list of horses is showing. And just the same thing, you can go click on them and see all this stuff. Use the add button to add your couple things, run reports. If you ever have any questions, either, as the main account holder barn owner or as a service provider, health provider, anyone, reach out to us. You can hit the support thing right here. You can call, text the phone number, send us an email. It all comes through. Happy to help however we can, and look forward to hearing from you.